Hey my conscious creators, my name is 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟 and I'm here to help you consciously create the life of your dreams. So in today's video we're going to be talking about affirmations, why your affirmations might not be working, exactly what affirmations are and how to get them to work, and all of that good stuff about affirmations. So let's get straight into the video. When it comes to affirmations, a lot of people say, like, whatever the affirmation is, such as I am wealthy or I have £100,000 in my account or whatever, it can be shown to you or said in a way that's like you literally just have to sit there and repeat it. First of all, don't do that, because if you're not really like feeling the affirmation, it doesn't necessarily mean feeling as in like some kind of emotion, but whenever you're saying the affirmation to yourself, like it needs to bring a kind of like image in your head. You need to be, when you're saying the affirmation, you're not saying it because you're like, I need to manifest this thing, or I'm saying it because I want to manifest this thing. You need to understand that when you are saying an affirmation, you're saying it from a point of that you already have that thing and you are just reiterating to yourself and reminding yourself basically that you have £100,000 in your account, that you are wealthy, that you are whatever. Like, it's more about understanding that you're doing the affirmation from a premise in your mind, which, you know, your mind is the real space. Everything that you experience without always comes from within. So it needs to happen internally first before you will experience it. So the real world or whatever is within your mind. So when you're saying these affirmations to yourself, you need to understand that you're saying it from a point of like, I have £100,000 in my account. I am wealthy. Like you're saying it like you are reminding yourself of that particular thing, not I need to sit and do this affirmation because I want to experience this thing. If you're doing it from that perspective, you're not going to experience that thing, because you're doing it from a place of I don't have this thing and I'm trying to get there. It needs to come from a position of I already have this thing. Like, I already have it. You might not necessarily see it right now in your 3D, but within your mind, within this world, this imagination world, you have that thing. So another thing when it comes to affirmations is, it's not about just doing the affirmation in that designated time that you've told yourself to do it. And it's also not about just repeating the affirmation over and over again, just repeating it over and over again mindlessly, just for the sake of it. I feel like the best way to do affirmations and all of this, and to get affirmations not even to get affirmations to work for you, but to start creating the affirmations and the thoughts and the focus on what you want, and then to experience that thing. The way I would do it is, whatever the affirmation is, or if it's a group of affirmations, it doesn't have to be one. If it's like 3 to 4 affirmations that you decide to use, you need to have something which is a mental diet. So first of all, when I'm doing my affirmations, I pretend that I am talking to someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone in particular. It can be anyone. And for me, this comes very naturally because I talk to myself. And I realized before that normally I would be doing this when it comes to like arguments. If I'm thinking about an argument I'm going to have with someone, or like a conversation I'm going to have with someone that might make me a bit anxious, or it might end up turning into an argument or whatever, I kind of play that in my head, like I'm talking to myself, I'm talking about the situation, I'm talking about this and that. And anytime I end up doing that, I normally end up experiencing that particular argument, and it ends up going that way, etc., etc. So for me, it's very natural for me to like talk to myself in my mind and, you know, play out whatever it is in my mind that like I want to experience, or how I want the conversation to go, or whatever. So the best way for me to do affirmations, and I want to suggest to you guys, is to pretend that you are talking to someone. So you doesn't have to be anyone in particular. You don't have to think of a particular person, but just imagine in your head, like let's say for example, you're doing affirmations for your business, or you're doing affirmations about, let's just say, money. Money is an easy one for me to give an example of. Imagine that you're saying it to your friend. Like, imagine in your mind, you don't have to speak it out loud. In your mind, just be like, yeah, girl, like I am literally like, I am so wealthy. I have £100,000 in my bank account. Like, I can do whatever I want with this money. Like, imagine your friend like saying something back to you regarding that. Like, it's just about using the affirmations in a way that if you already had this thing, which you do, if you already have this thing, what would you be saying? What kind of conversations would you be saying? What kind of thoughts would you be having? That is the way for you to do the affirmations, to get to then experience what it is that you want. It's not about just doing them mindlessly and just repeating the same thing over and over again. Imagine to yourself that you are having a conversation with someone and you're telling them all the things that you are experiencing now in your life, now that you have whatever it is that you want. That in itself is an affirmation, and those are affirmations when you are saying those things. So another thing, when it comes to affirmations, it's not about just doing them in the time that you decide that you're going to do your affirmations, or just spending 10 minutes on it a day. If you then do your affirmations, spend that 10 minutes on it, 5, 10, 15, whatever on it, but then you spend the rest of your day thinking and stressing about the opposite of what you want, like going back to what you are currently experiencing, and always thinking from a place of that you don't have that thing. If you do your affirmations and then what you are thinking about for the rest of the day, if the two don't match, you're not going to experience what it is that you are affirming. Or you may, but it's going to be more uncertain. If you 100% definitely want to experience that thing, and you want to know for sure that you are going to experience that thing, then whatever it is that you want to experience, your mental diet has to match that. Never God I'd use the word mental diet. It's basically, again, just your inner conversations. When you're having particular thoughts about things, when you are doing something and like you're talking to yourself in your head and you're thinking different thoughts of whatever, that is your inner conversation, your inner dialogue. That is your mental diet, and it's your mental diet that has to match whatever it is that you are affirming. It has to match from a premise of it has to match from a perspective that what you want is already in place. It's already happened. You've already experienced that thing. Those two have to match, and if they don't, then your affirmations are not going to work. You're not gonna then experience that thing. Like, you can't do the affirmations for like 10 minutes in the day and then spend the rest of your day thinking about all the negative things and why you don't have it and the lack, etc., etc. It's not to say that if you do have those thoughts, that's okay and that's natural. Accept where you are now. Accept that maybe your current 3D reality is not where you necessarily want it to be. But tell yourself it's not a problem anymore. If those thoughts come up about you not having that thing, just tell yourself it's not a problem anymore. Like, once you have accepted that, like, you know, that is that, and that's not what you're going to experience anymore. You might still be experiencing it for now, but as long as you persist in your mind, you keep your mental diet strong, and you persist and you're disciplined in that, it will change. Because at the end of the day, nothing that you experience without, you have not already assumed and focused on and had a mental diet about within. Like, nothing, you can't experience anything without anything outside of you that hasn't first come from within you. So if you are now in a position that you don't like, you know, with your mental diet, with what you affirm, what you assume, etc., you have experienced that thing, and that's okay, because it ultimately means that if you can experience that thing, you can also change it by doing the same thing, or doing something that you didn't realize you were doing, but now you are going to consciously do it, and you're going to take control of that, and you're going to choose to direct it in the way that you want it to go. And then you will experience that thing. So only tell yourself things and only have an inner dialogue which is from a place of what you want. Like, only have an inner dialogue that conforms to what you want. Try, like, don't focus and don't dwell on and don't like, or at least try your hard, because it's about discipline. It's something that will take time. It's something that not overnight you're going to be able to use your, you know, control your mind and use your mind and thinking that way, especially if things around you are not going well. But it's about understanding that the more that you discipline yourself and the more that you decide to live in your mind, which is only living in a place and coming from a place of the things that you want, you will eventually experience those things. The more you do it, and the more you for yourself realize that this is how it works, the easier it will become, and nothing outside of you will faze you anymore. But it's about discipline, and it takes time, and it's like it's like exercise, for example. When you first walk into the gym, it's going to be hard. Lifting those weights are going to be hard. You're not going to be able to lift the heaviest weight straight away. But if you persist in it, you keep going frequently, you keep disciplining your mind, you keep trying to direct your thoughts and your affirmations and all that kind of stuff towards what it is that you want, it will become easier. And before you know it, it will just be natural to you to always think from a place of what you want and what you want to have, what you want to happen and what you want to experience it, and then you actually experiencing that thing. So when it comes to what kind of affirmation should you do, etc., etc., you need to create a sentence or an affirmation that implies that you have already experienced that thing. So, again, money. I already used it earlier. If you want £100,000, then an affirmation would be that I have £100,000 in my bank account. I have £100,000. I have so much money that I can do whatever I want with it. Like, I'm so grateful for the £100,000 I have in my account. Your affirmation needs to be a sentence, like I said, that implies that you already have that particular thing. You then need to, the way I would do my affirmations is pretend that I'm having a mental conversation, an inner conversation with someone. Can be anyone, doesn't matter who, but I pretend that I'm having a conversation with someone about that particular thing, and I'm telling them that, I have £100,000, etc., etc. Once I've done my affirmations, you then throughout the day, if it's money, whenever you're thinking about money, in your mind, you need to be thinking like, I have £100,000. Like, pretend in your mind what you're spending that money on. When you go to a store, if you had £100,000, you could walk in that store and buy anything and everything that you want, anything that you see and you want it, you can buy it. So in your mind, pretend that, like, look at the price tag and think, oh, like, I have £100,000 in my account. Like, this is not going to be that expensive. I can get this, I can get that, etc., etc. It doesn't then mean that you then need to physically go and buy those things. No, but you need to live there in your mind. You need to think about things from that perspective of, if I had £100,000 in my account right now, what would I be thinking? What would I be doing? What would I be saying to myself? What would I be planning? You need to be having those mental conversations and that inner dialogue from that particular place. And it's a constant thing. It's something that you need to be doing all the time, not just in those 10 minutes. And then, like I said, then when you're thinking about things related to money, you're then stressing and worrying, because if you had the £100,000, you wouldn't be stressing and worrying. And like I said, it's natural to, and it will take time for you to get to a place where you can not react to things that are in your 3D reality and just live from your mind. But that takes time and practice, and no one is going to do it for you. Like, you have to learn to discipline your mind and do that yourself. Like, it's just about discipline, and it's just about controlling your mind, basically. Yeah, so with affirmations, it's just about frequent and constant thinking from that particular place, having the mental diet to match, having the affirmation which implies what it is that you want, and then having that frequent and constant thinking from that place. That is what will allow you to experience that thing. So if you have been doing your affirmations and they currently have not been working for you, or you haven't, it's been months and months and months, and you feel like you've been doing it for absolutely ages and you haven't seen any movement, you need to be focusing on your mental diet and what it is that you are thinking, and what it is that you are thinking and the thoughts that you are having outside of that time when you are doing those affirmations. Everything needs to match, basically. Everything that goes on within your mind throughout your day, when you are awake, etc., all need to match to what it is that you want. If it doesn't match to what you want, you're not going to experience it. The affirmations are not going to work. You're going to get frustrated, you're going to get upset, etc., etc., because you feel like, you're not experiencing that thing. But all of it has to match, and it all needs to be coming from a place of you already having that thing. Not that you're trying to get that thing. You already have it. Now think from the place of, okay, I have this thing. What am I going to be thinking? What am I going to be doing? All of that needs to be in your mind, in your imagination, in your thoughts, etc. And then you will experience it. So yeah, that is basically it when it comes to affirmations and mental diet, etc. I just wanted to say before I go, from this week, so hopefully from tomorrow, from when I upload this, I will be offering coaching And you can either get the coaching if you go directly to my page, which is Natasha Lauren, and you can either DM me or email me. Once I've posted this video, so hopefully the next day, which will be Thursday, I'll put up all the stuff about what coaching I offer, prices, etc, etc. But also I have a new page. It's called Conscious Creator. On Instagram. I will put the link of both my personal Instagram and also my new and also my like manifestation dedicated Instagram page below. You can also do the coaching, like you can also ask for coaching through there, but also just on that page, like I want it to be a page where I just post like daily motivation, daily like tips when it comes to manifesting, like my thoughts, etc, etc, just to help you guys. Like even if you don't want coaching, you don't want that direct one-on-one thing, the page itself will help you so much. And yeah, so yeah, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on this video. And if you want to follow me on my personal Instagram or follow me on Conscious Creator, or both if you're feeling generous. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.